Greetings, welcome back to the channel. I have been gone. I don't know how long. I'd have to look back on the last video uploaded on this channel to see, but it's been very hectic.
It's been years.
Of course, if you're not following me on X or, well, I hardly even post on Instagram anyways. I've been in Cuba studying medicine. I just finished third year. I'm in Jamaica right now, and I'm going into fourth year. When I get back to Cuba in September, this type of video is long overdue because of how much has transpired, and I feel like it's worth sharing with you people, especially for people who want to go to Cuba to like study medicine or do any source of any field in general, whether it be dentistry, engineering, because I know some people that are over in Cuba doing engineering, or medicine like myself. I want to make this video to try and give you guys a little orientation based on what to expect, the good, the bad, I guess the not so bad, or the in between. This video, I'll make another video talking about the medical program in general, or medical school, my experience, how hard it's been, because third year has been absolutely grueling. Third year has been the worst. Thank God I made it out alive. I would say unscathed, but a lot of bruises, a lot of wounds, open wounds that are still healing. Now I'm here to get to what to expect in Cuba. What do you look out for in Cuba? So the good, yes, the good. When I just came to Cuba, or when I just went to Cuba, it was around the time February 2022. I went up with Cayman Airways, right? The thing is, like, I've taken two routes to go to Cuba so far. I've taken the route um, that's to Cayman. They're always connecting flights. I know that there are options where you would have like you would be able to select a straight flight to Cuba, but it's another little buggle plane. So yeah, the safety is not guaranteed there. So I take two routes usually. There's either Cayman, I go straight to Grand Cayman, and then afterwards is a layover period, and then I go straight to Cuba in Havana, Jose Marti International Airport, or I can go through Copa Airlines where I go to Panama, which is, oh my god, amazing, beautiful airport. A lot of stuff on display. You know, my eyes are red. Me eye them red. I always see a lot of stuff there. They got Nintendo aisles, they got PlayStation aisles, electronics. They got drones. They sell drones in Panama, right? The Panama airport is so amazing. I think it's called the Yuncan or something. I'd have to look it up after I stop in Panama. I go straight to Cuba. Good about Cuba, of course, first and foremost, I met my wife over there. You know what I'm saying? It was a blessing. It's so unexpected as well, because you never think you would meet your someone in a very hopeless place. But like Rihanna said, I mean, it's possible, right? Another good thing about Cuba and why I chose to go to Cuba anyways is because of the cost. The cost for university is not relatively, way cheaper than it would be in my country right now, Jamaica. I know it's millions of dollars. Of course, it's Jamaica, millions of dollars. But in Cuba, it's like the highest costing year in Cuba is 11,000 US dollars. Comparing that to Jamaica's price, I mean, it's a huge difference. That was one of the main reasons why I chose Cuba in the first place, why I felt that it was a good decision for me. And of course, the whole bilingual thing too. Another good thing was the prices for the transport at the time we arrived, because right now they've skyrocketed. When we just came there, it was 50 pesos, which amounts to around 2 US dollars. And that was probably the base transport fee for me to just go from home to go to school. I started doing that whole transport thing and paying taxis from first year in medical school up to now. There's a pre-university stage where we'd have to learn the Spanish in order to interact with, like, I guess, patients and teachers, learn in Spanish because everything is in Spanish. Go to the market, it's Spanish. You go to restaurants, there are some restaurants that do speak, workers that do speak English, so that's not as bad and not so bad. All the classes, textbooks, notes, everything is in Spanish. You probably might have a teacher that might pop a joke or two in English, which is always good to hear. But yeah, well, everything is in Spanish, so it's crucial that we know the language. That was one of the good things at the beginning. The cost, it wasn't very expensive at all. It was really good. and the market price is too. I could buy a whole cabbage for just 100 pesos. So that would be like four US dollars, no?
It's rough. It's rough.
Another thing is the bills. The bills in Cuba are very different from the bills that what I'm used to paying in Jamaica. Even for AC, if I was supposed to use AC in Jamaica, they charge me an arm and a leg.
I have to sell my kidney.
But in Cuba, I would turn on my AC, use my light, use my fan, and the bill, the most I paid for a light bill in Cuba at the time was $1. $1, I kid you not. It didn't even reach 100 pesos. And if you don't use a certain amount of water, then they won't even charge you for the water bill. They just charge you for light and gas. And of course, the gas cost depends if you use a cylinder or if you use gas from the street. Gas from the street is accessible to pretty much most people in Cuba, and of course it suffers everybody. If the gas goes away in the street, everybody suffers. But it's always, it it, it rarely goes away. It goes away probably once, twice every month. Another thing about Cuba, I guess, is maybe the relative safeness.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Anywhere in general, you'll always have those aspects everywhere. The thing about Cuba, though, is that due to the whole embargo situation with the United States, it's quite difficult to even get weaponry here. The most you hear about as it relates to crime in Cuba is burglary. There's a lot of burglars in Cuba, and the amount of incidents has increased like substantially from when I just came to Cuba. Now they're robbing houses like crazy. Me, I always try my best to lock up my house as much as possible, and I have a grill as well on my windows and my door. So they'd need a lot of time to probably, unless they have those grill snappers, whatever. I can literally walk out in the night and just chill, have a nice walk and everything. But if you were living like in America, for instance, you'd have to be cautious, especially.
Especially since I'm a black guy, of course I have to be cautious.
Food is a good and bad thing. I only really trust one restaurant at this point because majority of the restaurants I go to in Cuba, I get a case of diarrhea. When I'm walking in the room and my pants start to foam, diarrhea. I get diarrhea, explosive diarrhea. It is painful. Those are all the good, really, that I can think about at this point in time. Everything else I'm going to talk about is the bad. So, of course, I already talked about the robbers. I already gave you guys the introduction about the robbers. There are two different types of robbers, though. There are public robbers, private robbers.
Huh?
I classify them as public and private. I classify the public ones being the ones that are on the street, the guys that are saying, "Hey, where you from? Where you from? Jamaica? Oh, you saying ball?" They'll always do that. They'll always do that. They have no shame whatsoever. Like at first, when I come to Cuba, I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I interact with them. I'm a good person. I have a good heart. Cuba has made me like heartless to certain things because of how much people there are that take advantage of tourists. But the thing is, I do not consider myself a tourist in Cuba. I'm a medical student. I'm technically a resident. I have my temporary residence card in my wallet. Of course, it's a temporary residence card, but at the same time, I'm technically a resident. I'm not a tourist, bro. And this is what these people don't understand. That's why they always try and do their best to attack you. Not necessarily attack you, but attack you verbally. They'll push themselves onto you and try to wring you out of all the funds that you have. And that's another reason why I hid my Jamaica shirt. I brought up a Jamaica shirt because mom was like, "Oh, bring up a Jamaica shirt, represent your country, and be happy." That shirt, I can't even find that shirt right now. I'm telling you, that shirt is in the deepest depths of my drawer. All right, every day, anytime I go out and wear that shirt, best believe the prices are going up. I go to the market to buy cabbage, as I said before, 100. But at that time, I was like 2023. No, it was still when I came up first, so 2022. I go to the market. 100 is usually the price for cabbage, as I said before in the video. But if I wear the Jamaica shirt, that 100 is going up to like 400. I'm telling you, no jokes. Not if you have any shirt or any piece of clothing, any article of clothing that says your country on it and it's not Cuba, you probably can only wear that to a hotel, bro. No, not even a hotel. It's like I just can't see myself wearing an article of clothing from my country like that, because it just doesn't matter where you go, you're going to get robbed. So that's why at the beginning, the people would always say, "Where you from?" I'm from Jamaica. Okay, Usain Bolt, Asafa Pop. Not even a lot of people know Asafa Paul. You know, they know Usain Bolt obviously. 'Cause everybody knows Usain Bolt and Bob Marley. That's always what they say. That's always the two names that come out of their mouth anytime you say Jamaica. My girlfriend and I, we usually sometimes we just say, you know, Angola. We sometimes we even say Colombia because we have the Spanish to back it up. And when I go back to Cuba and anybody else asks me, I'm pretty much just gonna say, hacer estaba viviendo en Cuba. Entonces, mira, soy cubano. Because if I've been studying here for so long, that practically makes me Cuba, bro. So that's why but that's for another video, my Varadero experience. Varadero is wicked when it comes down to robbing people. Wicked. All right, it's ridiculous, right? But enough about the robbers. And the private robbers are the ones that obviously go to the houses and rob. They'll literally like break down the doors, break through the windows. They have crowbars. I know a teacher that almost got broken into, but they were still in the household, so the robber couldn't get in. He realized that people were in there and the light was on, and he's like, "Oh crap, I probably should flee." Food, as I mentioned before, the bad about the food was that I get explosive diarrhea. I had diarrhea. The longest period was for a whole week. Um, it's crazy because Cuba is really filthy. The certain pictures that you see of about Cuba, you might see like dilapidated houses, but they never really show landfills that are very much prominent in Cuba. You'll probably see a landfill every 2 meters. The country is in a certain kind of state where, you know how you would go in America or go to another country and see people eating out of the bin, people looking through the bin. You're gonna be like, oh, they're mad. They lost their senses. Sensible people with their senses intact that don't do drugs, that has never taken crack in a day in their lives, are in the bin in Cuba. That's just how the situation is. That just shows and that just speaks volume on how the situation is in Cuba, because of the fact that you have these kind of people that literally go through the bin. And it's not like it's an empty bin and it's clean and everything. No. No. Flies are on the surface. Flies will be swarming. It's like a beehive. But with flies, Cuban flies are most disgusting creatures. They're the most disgusting flies I know, because you'll see a lot of crap on the ground. If it's not dog doodle, it's human doodle. I went to the beach and human doodle is literally just on the shore chilling. And flies are just they're just swarming over it. I can't go outside to study on the beach. You say, okay, I want to clear my head. I want to have a nice open mind. Let me go out to the beach, chill, and get my study on. You can't do that unless you want to get your study on next to the doodle. That's tough. That's another reason why I got the diarrhea for the 7 weeks, because 7 days, sorry, is because of the fact that there were just flies. It was an outside restaurant, right? It was like one of the restaurants that you might see, in Paris, like that's in the hallway of like not really in a hallway per se, but like, you'd have two buildings here, and then you have the middle passage right here, and then you have some restaurants on the sides of those two buildings, and it's in the middle where the people sit down, there are the tables or the chairs. So that's kind of the setting that I went to in Cuba. But the problem with this is the flies. The flies is the problem. And the fact that there were just flies pitching all over the place, going into the wines, going into the food, pitching on my pork chops. And I guess that's how I got the diarrhea in the first place. I went to this place in Pigs Bay. I don't remember the name of the hotel, but
It was in some bush.
I went to this place. They were serving like some some burgers, right? The buns were like sugary. They were sweet, and I didn't mind it. I liked it. And then the meat was inside the burger. I don't know if it was. I think most likely it was ham, right? And let me tell you this. I think there were around 30 people on that trip with me and my girlfriend and my girlfriend's sister. There were 30 people on that trip. And out of those 30 people, I was the only one that didn't get diarrhea.
He's too dangerous to be left alive.
I'm telling you, it's like my stomach's used to the absolute monstrosities of 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 bacteria and gunk that exists in Cuba. I was the only person that didn't get diarrhea, and I'm thankful for that because I was able to help out, my girlfriend and her sister because everybody got diarrhea. There was even this kid. I was there waiting on the bathroom to be vacant because my girlfriend was like, God.
I gotta lay down a huge dump.
And then this boy literally looked at me. He looked at me and then he just ran off and cannonballed in the thing, cannonballed in the pool. And when you cannonball, your booty is the first thing to hit the water. I don't know how I managed to get back in that water, bro. I don't know why I even got back in that water. That water is nasty. And when I went in after there, I realized the whole toilet was just it was a mess. I don't even want to describe it. I apologize for whoever's eating and watching this video. Prices of food, the prices of the market goods, the prices of fare, the prices of taxi fare is a bad thing now. Cabbage that used to be for 100, like I said earlier in the video, is now for 500. That's probably the least you would be able to buy cabbage for. The price to go to school that I pay nowadays, probably like 300 to go, 300 to come back. And remember, bear in mind, right, that I said it was 50 pesos at the beginning. Now it's 300 pesos just to go, and then to come back, I'd have to pay another 300. It's no espacio. That's just the common thing in Cuba. And they have a little saying in Cuba. Well, they don't say it in Cuba, but they might as well make it a saying. No te desanimas, todo va a empeorar. That is just how it is in Cuba. That's just the mentality that they have in Cuba. And anytime they like, that's the other thing I want to get to. The grid or the planta situation. Now, for those of you guys who are in tune with the news, I know a lot of news outlets talk about this. CNN talked about this. The grid, La Planta. I don't know if it's made of paper mache. I don't know if it's made of some very, very flimsy cardboard. I don't even know if it's made of paper, but it's very fragile. The little slightest wind that blows would cause the grid to completely collapse and leave Cuba in absolute darkness. It's not just a one-time occurring thing. It occurs all the time. Like every time they repair it, it seems to just not be enough. I want to say this. I'm not trying to disrespect them in any way as it relates to the people working, because I don't know if they have this. Obviously, the whole supply thing, the whole fact that there are certain materials and resources that Cuba just don't have access to. So at the same time, it's understandable, the whole grid situation, right? The first time the grid actually collapsed was when the hurricane passed in 2024. And the grid was out for about a week. Actually, it was out for 3 days before, but during that 3 days, I was actually not in Cuba. So I escaped that blackout. But when I went back to Cuba, it was a blackout for 7 days. And I think I had a nice huge packet of chicken in my freezer and it spoiled. Brussels sprouts were in my freezer and they spoiled. Broccoli was in my freezer and it spoiled. Cauliflower was in my freezer and it spoiled. My fridge, like the fact that the meat from the chicken, obviously sometimes it drains the blood, right? So there's this part at the bottom of the fridge that you would usually, like some fridges, you have the ability to just remove that part from whatever drains from the freezer. It empties out in a little receptacle that usually comes at the bottom of the fridge. Some fridges have the option of you to just pull that tray out and you can empty it out and clean it out, wash it out, or anything. The fridge that I have in my apartment is not able to do so. I had a very disgusting smell near my fridge for a very good time, a very long time. And I had to literally just go manually and just try and clean out the crevices with a little rag or something, pour bleach on it, make sure I use my gloves and stuff. Come on, I'm sensitive. It was very hard because there's just a lot of, you can't take it out. There's a lot of things that go over it and kind of obstruct your way of kind of getting into the proper creases of it. but I ended up cleaning it at the end of the day, and thank God I did, because the house stunk. And that's why I was really, really happy that I was able to come back to Jamaica, because of the whole light situation. It was getting frustrating. And the light chose to go away and start giving problems when it was exam time for us. So at our final exams, light would go away, because we have to stay up and study, because we have back-to-back tests every single week. So we have to stay up and study. When we stay up and study, the light will go away. The light will go away around 10 p.m. and won't come back around until 2. Sometimes it won't come back around until 5. It's very rough and hard to study, especially when, you know, there's no way for you to look at a book. Of course, we have our laptops, like as I'm recording on right now, and our phones, but obviously, those things, they will die. And if the light is gone for such a long period of time, then obviously they're going to die. It's difficult trying to study sometimes. So that's why sometimes I just feel absolutely out of it. Sometimes I won't even study at all. Sometimes I have to wake up in the morning, watch probably Osmosis or Dirty Medicine, or I know some people watch Ninja Nerd too. These people really help us out, especially in certain times of crisis where the light goes away and we are unable to study for a thing. They'll always give us well, probably not Ninja Nerd because it's an hour-long thing, but I know Osmosis for myself, due to how short and concise and informative at the same time the videos are, it's very helpful for me to watch one of their videos and get enough information or more than enough information in order to do well on an exam or do well on a little pop quiz that I have. So I really appreciate them for existing, especially in this day and age. Another thing is the line. Now, every single place in Cuba, you'll always hear somebody say, ¿Quién es el último persona para la cola, para el carrito, para comprar pan? You'll have an ultimo everywhere. You know how you go in, of course, Jamaicans would know, right? You go to KFC, it's in a very long line, right? That's how the gas station is in Cuba. You'd have literally people camping out at the gas station before they get service. I'm telling you, they literally bring their car, they sleep there, they spend the whole entire night at the gas station, right? Just to get some gas. Yeah, that's a bit of the orientation that I guess you can look into or keep in mind when coming into Cuba, right? Probably I'll make another video. Just let me know what you guys want to hear, what you guys want to know about Cuba, and I'll try my best to provide as much information as possible. I've been there for practically how much years now? Because I have to do pre-med and then first years. So 4 years I've been there, I guess. No, that doesn't make any sense. I've been there for 3 years. Of course, after this video, I'm going to make a video on the whole school, the medical school experience, how it was the first year, the second year, and the third year. And I guess I'll talk a bit about pre-university for those who are interested. Yeah, that's about it for this video. I just want you guys to let you know what I'm doing, why the uploads aren't frequent. Obviously, I've grown, I've matured a lot. Especially when I watch other your previous videos, I've matured a lot. Yeah, I plan to probably make a gaming video one time, because at the end of the day, this channel is for games. So anime is for wholesome content like this. This is wholesome. So that's about it. You guys have a blessed day, and I'll I'll try to upload this video as fast as possible so I can upload the other one. Take care.